All right. Happy Saturday, people. Um, let's look at some trades for the upcoming week, in the option world that I like that are setting up. So this play, which is W, was actually given out last week, but it still hasn't really done much of anything. I think it did a little bit on Friday. Um, so this for me is still in play. So it's W 52 puts for 10.11. That's how you would read this. So W $52 puts for 10.11. I'm going to say this is still in play. Next is going to be our friend PayPal. PayPal is considered elite because it's not until next year of March. So we're looking at the PayPal 111 calls for March 21st, 2005. Right now they're fairly cheap, so position yourself on them. I mean, if you could see, right here in the screen, it's clearly in an uptrend. I think it's got a lot more continuation, and just having it till March gives you that time. So this is a nice play. This was also called out in the video last week. Next one is silver. All right. So silver, we have the 3150 calls for the 18th, which is 2 weeks out. This one is a slow mover, so of course it needs time to cook. It did close Friday bullish, so I'm still keeping this one on. And I'm already actually in this trade, but if you're not in this trade, this was one that was called out last week, and it is still in play. Next one is going to be a November call. It's going to be BIDU. 120 calls for 11:15. They have earnings coming up the November 19th, which is probably the week before. So this will be a nice, basically, run up into earnings. This should play out very nicely. It's about $10 away from its strike right now. So, I mean, you guys do the math in the option world. Should play out and pay perfectly. Next one is DQ. DQ $25 calls for another November 11:15. And if we actually see, these were actually called out last week. If you go and check last week's video out, they were called out last week, and it was definitely not at that price. So these are already technically in the money. Not in the money, making money is what I mean. If it was me looking at this video today and looking at some options that I would like to get into, I would leave this one alone. And the reason why is because I feel that it's already it's already expanded. So I'm not going to put my money into something by chasing it. I'm going to look for the next play. But for those that are, they don't really care, they want to chase it, have fun with it, it is still in play and it is making money. All right, so some new plays. A lot of people are going to think I'm crazy for this one, but I like SPY puts. 561 puts for Friday of next week, 10/11. These ones would most likely be pretty cheap to get if SPY keeps running up, but these should print very well. I don't know what data we have this week, but obviously with any data that we do have, this is going to wind up affecting it. So this is going to be a good play, providing we get crappy data. So SPY puts. Next is going to be XLE. XLE calls also for November. It's going to be the 99 calls for November. This is still in play. Even though Friday we had a pretty much indecision day where buyers and sellers were pretty much equal. But, we're not basing our data on Friday. We're basing our data on overall what do we see in the chart. We see that it was in a downtrend, and we see that it broke the downtrend. And now we should have a continuation to the upside. So that's how we're analyzing it. And for that reason, we're going with the 99 calls for November 15th. Next one is going to be AMD. AMD 175 calls for Friday. This could move fairly quick. We are making new higher lows. So we have our higher lows here. We have our higher highs here. It's pretty much setting up perfect. Just like the chart just before, we were in that downtrend situation. And now we are in that uptrend situation. So these are going to print very nicely. They are $5 away from the strike as of now. So, that's $500. These were called out in the Discord, so we got them a little bit cheaper than what they are now, but in play. Next one is going to be VST. VST 150 calls for 10.11. This is also they just gave out dividends, so I think that's why I picked this one plus the chart. It doesn't even look like it's falling. It's just way extended. I think that we can get a little bit more of a push. I do understand that it is extended, so we could see a pullback on Monday, maybe even Tuesday, which would bring these contracts down. But if that's the case and you see that pullback, don't look to get these contracts until Thursday, right before close. You know what I mean? Get them for the low and then sell them for the high by 9:45 Friday. You know what I mean? That's, easy flip game. But I liked it. So we're VST 150 calls for 10.11. And then my last one, which the Discords have been eating on this play for 2 weeks now. It's going to be JD 50 calls for 10.11. So next Friday. JD has a lot of gaps that it does need to fill. One's here, one's here. But I'm not concerned about those gaps. I'm more concerned about the push. It had very good earnings back in August. So earnings are behind it. I believe dividends should be coming out soon. So we're going to get another push before those dividends come out. And that's how I'm looking at this. Then I will worry about those puts. So those puts will come into play after, right before those dividends are declared. As of right now, I'm going to play it with the trend. This isn't a clear uptrend, so I'm going to not fight the trend and play it. So we have JD, there we go. JD $50 calls for Friday, 10/11. All right, so those are the plays for the week. Let me know if you guys are, taking the plays, making money. These are my trade ideas, my thought on how I'm charting. Of course, it's not financial advice, and this is just for entertainment purposes. But, if you're having trouble looking for plays or not knowing where to look, what to look at, here are my ideas. So good luck this week, traders, and have a great weekend.